It's Regal's Monday Mystery Movie. This theater was packed. There was at least 130 people in this auditorium, and as soon as the movie started, about 30 people left. I don't know why, but I guess people really assumed that this movie was about to be either Twisters or Deadpool because this theater was packed. Fly Me to the Moon stars Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum, and is about marketing maven Kelly Jones wreaks havoc on launch director Cole Davis' already difficult task. When the White House deems the mission too important to fail, Jones is directed to stage a fake moon landing. From director Greg Berlanti, the man who brought you Love, Simon from 2018, a movie I really loved. I love that movie, and he's not directed a movie since Love, Simon. So now here we are with the brand new Fly Me to the Moon, which comes out actually on July 12th. Like I already said, it's the Monday Mystery Movie. No one tells me the embargo, so I'm just going to publish my review and probably get yelled at for breaking embargo. Okay, so Fly Me to the Moon was a movie that I saw the trailer for it and I was like, that looks good. It comes out in July. I was like, well, it's a summer movie and it's probably not going to do really well. But I'm going to give a lot of credit to this movie. I'm not here to talk about the box office, what's going to happen to this movie. I'm here to tell you this is a really solid movie. This is a really solid, interesting movie with enough comedy, romance, and intrigue that I can tell you, if you have anyone that you want to go on a date with, this is definitely one of those movies. It's so just good-hearted. Like, honestly, like, this movie just feels warm. It feels like a nice, like, history moment about one of the best or biggest moments in American history or history in the world. Like, this movie really goes on to the day of the moon landing. And so I really liked how Scarlett Johansson's performance in this movie really is layered, because you see this movie, you see Scarlett Johansson, she's obviously into the marketing part of this movie. That's what her job is. But her performance and her character was way more interesting than I thought it was going to be, because her performance is really good in this movie. She steals every scene she's in, and she's in scene with Channing Tatum, who is just, we need more Channing Tatum. Like, there was a time where Channing Tatum was Hollywood's leading man for like a minute there, and then he just kind of disappeared for a little bit, but he's making his comeback, and this movie with him and her together, their chemistry works so well in this movie. It really makes the romance scenes wanted. It feels warranted. It feels like you're really building this relationship while also having the NASA try to build up to, obviously, the moon landing, which is more about the marketing part with Scarlett Johansson, and Channing Tatum's more of like focused on the actual mission. And you get Woody Harrelson there as like this agent guy who's like, hey, do this, do this, do this, do this. And then the trailer shows you the third act where they're like, hey, we're going to fake the moon landing and we're going to show that on TV no matter what. That part of the movie was, to me, the most interesting, because as a person, I will not agree or deny that the moon landing in 1969, we don't know if it's real. Someone out there does, but there's a lot of evidence to say why it is. There's also evidence why we didn't go on the moon. I'm a person that says if one day we found out it was fake, it wouldn't shock me. But I want to be respectful to the astronauts, obviously, who went up there, who did this mission, is what this movie tells you. And the movie does play with it a little bit. They even joke saying, like, we should have got Kubrick, because obviously that's like the biggest theory ever, that Stanley Kubrick filmed the moon landing. So the third act of the movie was 100% my favorite part, but the rest of the movie is more of like the romance between these two characters and just the overall like production of like making the mission happen. Which also, speaking of that, the 1960s feel, man, there are some really cool just shots of like a full parking lot with 1960s cars, and I was like, that's not CGI. Those are cars. This production really put in a lot of effort. Like, it's a $100 million movie. I guarantee you of it, at least $50 million this went towards production, costuming. The movie looks really good. Some green screen looks a little iffy, but for the most part, Scarlett Johansson, Channing Tatum's charisma and chemistry really works in this movie. The movie is about 2 hours and 12 minutes long. There are a few endings where I was like, oh, we're getting ready to end here, and there's like another 30 minutes. Oh, we're gonna end here. Another 15 minutes. I was like, all right, we're ending here. They're playing Fly Me to the Moon song. Nope, we got another 5 more minutes. I was like, okay, we need to wrap this movie up. So there was parts of the movie where I was like, it felt a little long. But in the end, like I said, it felt warm-hearted. It felt like a good movie. It's made really well. It's performed really well. In the end, I laughed, I enjoyed the characters. And in the end, did we go to the moon? I'm going to give Fly Me to the Moon a solid B. And would you look at that? Another movie with another cat being a prominent point in the plot. The summer of cats and big blockbuster movies. Who would have thought that? So, yep, that's my early review of this movie. If I'm breaking embargo, Regal mystery movies. Tell your audience when the embargo lifts, because freedom of speech. I saw it. I paid for it. I watched it. Now I'm reviewing it. Hope you guys enjoyed this movie review. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everybody.